I am pleased, therefore, to report that since the Security Council last convened on Colombia in July, with the participation of President Petro, we have seen follow-through on steps announced at that time that signal an important recentering of the peace agreement at the heart of the peace policy of the government. The Rapid Response Plan, or Plan de Choque, being developed by the Minister of the Interior, with inputs from comunes, local authorities, and communities in conflict-affected regions, is a new instrument that should serve to energize implementation. I welcome initial indications that the plan will focus strongly on rural reform in order to transform the conflict-affected regions, as well as on strengthening security guarantees. I assure you that women's voices continue to be heard very strongly as they advocate for greater progress overall and in implementation of the gender provisions of the agreement, and for the effective inclusion of women in the dialogue processes underway. Regarding transitional justice, the Special Jurisdiction for Peace continued to take forward its pioneering work, so central to the transition from war to peace. The SJP success will lie in achieving a delicate balance between multiple elements, which include the rights of the victims and the legal security of those under its jurisdiction, as well as the rigor and celerity with which it will be able to proceed and dispatch justice. The government also bears an important responsibility to ensure that all necessary conditions are in place for the practical implementation of the sentences once issued. Amidst continuous debate, at times public, over aspects of its proceedings, constructive dialogue between the various stakeholders remained paramount, along with respect for its autonomy and independence. The mission remains available to all concerned to continue to facilitate such dialogue. La compleja situación de seguridad en varias regiones del país sigue constituyendo uno de los mayores obstáculos para la consolidación de la paz. En algunos territorios, las y los firmantes del acuerdo y los líderes sociales siguen siendo el blanco de violencia, presiones y amenazas por parte de actores armados. La difícil situación en algunas zonas sigue impactando la vida de las comunidades que quedan en medio del fuego cruzado y sujetos a fenómenos condenables como el reclutamiento de menores, el desplazamiento y el confinamiento. La complejidad y la fluidez de las dinámicas de conflicto en varias regiones y la inseguridad que produce para las poblaciones afectadas requiere un abordaje integral y complementario. Por un lado, es necesario avanzar en la implementación efectiva de las disposiciones de garantías de seguridad del Acuerdo Final de Paz y, por otro lado, dar seguimiento a las medidas acordadas en las distintas mesas de diálogos de paz orientadas a reducir la violencia y proteger a la población civil. Of utmost concern has been the months-long stalemate in the talks between the government and the ELN, leading to the expiration of their bilateral ceasefire in August. Sadly, since the parties returned to armed confrontation, there has been a doubling of the numbers of death and wounded persons on both sides compared to the entire year during which the ceasefire was in effect. I am encouraged, nevertheless, by the statements by both parties a few days ago, expressing their willingness to meet to examine ways to overcome the current deadlock. I trust that the parties will use that opportunity to begin to regain momentum in a process that has advanced promisingly before this latest impasse. It is our hope also that the parties will resume negotiations and reestablish and strengthen their ceasefire in order to save lives. As was highlighted during the holding of the General Assembly last month, the multidimensional challenges to peace and security in the world demand ever more innovative responses. In this respect, Colombia continues to provide valuable lessons and inspiration. Supporting Colombia's peace process is a privilege and a unique opportunity for the United Nations. So let us continue then to do our absolute best to support Colombia along this challenging yet courageous road to peace.